Salam YouTube ተከታታዮቻችን. Today what I'm going to show you how we get started in the creating the API key and acquiring the API. In this case ዛሬ ማሳያችሁ ምንድነው how Python በፓይተን ኮድ እንዴት የዩቲዩብ API እንዴት ስለ ዩቲዩብ it's maybe the public or maybe the private information, how we can grab from the YouTube by using the Python script by connecting within the YouTube API. First of all, you should have to simply type first of all the things that you are going to type in the Google is something Google API ብላችሁ ምንድነው ሰርች ማድረግ ነው። Google API ብላችሁ ሰርች ታደርጉ አሴ ትሬኒንግ እቺን ታገኛታላችሁ። እቺን ስትነኳት ቀጥታ ወደ ምትገባላችሁ ወደ Google console API ውስጥ ትገባላችሁ። So in this case you can simply create this project, already create ስላደረኩ ነው create ምትሏን ትነኳታላችሁ። then ስም ጽፋላችሁ። በጣም ሪሊ ቀላል ስቴፕ ናት። ከዛ ቀላል ስቴፕ ናት። እቺኛዋን ሪኔም ታደርጋታላችሁ ዝም ብላችሁ ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ YouTube API የምትለውን ፓስ ማድረግ ትችላላችሁ። I already created that YouTube API by using YouTube library ውስጥ በመግባት ታገኙታላችሁ። እንደሰጣችሁ ስለዛ YouTube ተከበራችሁ if you just want me to give you a tutorial about it, I'm willing to give you. Let me know on the comment box. Let's see this here. As you can see, I already created the YouTube API. This is the by YouTube API by KINFE video. As you can see, I already created the YouTube API. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna grab a piece of information from the certain user of certain account or someone is አንድ ሰው ካንሰል ምን አደርጋለሁ ኤፒስ ኦፍ ኢንፎርሜሽን ግራብ ማድረግ እንትን እንላለን ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ API ክሬት ስታደርጉ it will gonna give you the API ይሰጣችኋል ራሱ የሆነ API። ስለዚህ this is as you can see API ስትስሉ ፕሮጀክት ኢንፎ አለን እዚህ ጋር ሲፋን ፕሮጀክት ID project number and also እነዚህ ሁሉ እና this case what you are gonna do I already copied the API key. This is why we call it the API key. And if you just want to know what does this mean by, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna walk through out of it. So in this case, as you can see from the GitHub, there are a lot of documentation that you should have to refer. In this case, from the Google API Python claims. So in this case, what you are gonna do for the Mac or Linux that let you operating systemaችሁ ይህን ሰፖርት የሚያደርግ ከሆነ pip install Google client or you can use a virtual environment መጠቀም ትችላላችሁ either. So in this case I recommend you in order to use the pip install Google API clients. And in this case in the ተመሳሳይ ነገር በማን እናደርጋለን you are going to do within the ለእንትን ተመሳሳይ ነገር እናደርጋለን ማለት ለዊንዶውስ። So in this case pip install እዛ ጋር ያያችሁትን ሙሉ ምን ታደርጉታላችሁ grab ታደርጓትና Google API Python ኮንፈስ የምትለዋን ኢንስታል ታደርጉታላችሁ ማለት it is easy step in documentation በጣም ቀላል ነው። documentation ከፈለጋችሁ you can just refer. I'm going to give you this link on the description box ላይ ሰጣችኋለሁ። it is going to be easy ይሄን የሚከብድ ስታፍ የለውም ማለት ስለዚህ after just installing it install ካደረግን በኋላ what we are going to do, we are going to import a certain specific thing. So in this case from the Google build discovery API clients.discovery import build. What I mean by build is one of the method or the function that will pass for the building or for the creating the API service objectoችን create ለማድረግ እንጠቀምበታለን ማለት ነው። in this case simply for the placeholder API አችሁ simply copy ታርጉትና በዚህ በstring font እናስቀምጣለን ማለት ነው። after this doing this, what you are going to do, the next thing that you are going to do, you are going to create a build function. So in this case build function ፈጥራለን። as you know that more documentation ለማየት እዛ forward አድርግላችኋለሁ እንትኑን documentation ማለት ነው። documentation part 1 description box ላይ ሰጣችኋለሁ። and the first thing that for the build as an argument የምሰጠው ምን ነው the API name. So the API name what you are going to use for this video, what you call it the YouTube ነው የምንጠቀመው API name. And also it has also the version 3 and there are a lot of versions. I'm going to link the inside of my comments in the into when comment box like when description box ላይ ሰጣችኋል። ስለዚህ the next thing that you are going to is developer. What you are going to do, developer, we should have to, developer key is going to be equal to the API key equal number. So it takes 3 arguments. The first argument is the API name, API version, and also the developer key, which is the actual API key that you are going to use in our project. So in this case, the next thing that you are going to do, we should have to store these. We should have to store this method inside of something variable like YouTube. So YouTube like and now after just storing inside of the YouTube, what we are going to do is we are going to do something request. We are going to send the request for the so the request is going to be equal to from the YouTube placeholder dot channel mode verify madre አለብን ማለት ነው። channels and also after channels is going to be dot lists in the form of the lists. So in this case on the form of the lists and arguments ይወስዳል ነው arguments ይወስዳል። this argument is going to be deport ይወስዳል። ዶክመንቴሽኑን ሊንክ ስለማድረግላችሁ don't worry። ስለዚህ ሊንክ አለው ፖርት አለው and also a lot of bunch of stuff. In this case what we are going to do, we are going to depart ለእናንተ ቀለል እንዲላችሁ more detail አድርገዋል። more detail ከገባው simple complex በጣም ከእንትኑ ኮምፕሌክስ ስለሚሆን in this case what we are going to part እናደርገዋለን statistics ነው። ፓርት ምንድነው? statistics ነው ግራፍ እናደርገው። in this case in order to know a piece of information about statistics, you can't just go over into the and type go YouTube at API ብላችሁ ሰርች ማድረግ ነው። YouTube API ብላችሁ ሰርች ስታደርጉ ስለ YouTube ስለዛ እንትኑ ማግኘት Google developer options, so you can just go into the YouTube API and also you can just see references. As you can see references list አለው እና ሊስት እኛ የምናደርገው ይችን ሊስት ሜትድ እንጠቀማታለን ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ስኬት ፓርት ሊስት ሜትድ ተጠቅመናታል። ፓርት is statistics እንላታለን። statistics እና then the next argument what you are going to do for the user name. First the user name for the username, not capital letter. For the username is going to be equal to I'm going to pass the user name. So for the username in this case two arguments are part now for the username. So username and yourself ማለት ነው። and in this case I'm going to give in the username that I just want to get an information from. in this case ምንድነው as እንትን ማንን የማንን ዩዘርኔም ፓስ እናደርጋለን ፌመስ ማለት ነው። እኔ በጣም ማደንቀው ዩቲዩበር አለ ያ ዩቲዩበር ሴንት ዴክስ የሚባል ዩቲዩበር ሴንት ዴክስ የምትባል ዩቲዩበር አለ እሱን just refer ማድረግ ይችላል። ስለዚህ we are gonna take this we just want to grab a piece of information about Saint Dex. In this case Saint Dexን ፓስ ካደረግን በኋላ what we are gonna the next thing that we are gonna do, we are gonna create a response in order to get the response of the request. So for that specific request, so for that request what we are going to do, we are going to execute the request in order to have a response for it. So in this case we are going to request dot execute. We are going to use execute method in order to execute that response. So after this we are going to use a print function in order to print the response. So after just doing this, let me just try it. Python API.py እንላታለን ማለት ስለዚህ Python is gonna try an error ካለ we are gonna handle that error if there is an error occurred. Let me just wait. It may take a couple of seconds. It's not that much, but ትንሽ እንጠብቀውና የሚመጣውን ካየን በኋላ just የሚስተካከል ነገር ካለ we are going እናስተካክላለን ማለት ነው። statistics for the username Saint password button execute. We are just executing grand like about this for the request that I have mentioned over here. I am executing in order to have a response for it. So the response እንዲኖረን execute እያደረኩ ነው። ስለዚህ ይሄኛው execute የሆነው response ማን ላይ variable I don't know, we are just manipulating inside of it እና እንደ manipulating እንደምናምን ባሉ እንደዛ ኮንሴፕት ብትረዱት አሪፍ ነው። ስለዚህ ስኬት as you can see ምንድናት ይቺ the Python what we call the dictionary ማለት ነው። it may be the arrays and that's something just like an array using the array using the object inside of it እንደሚባለው ጂንሰን ማለት አሁን an array using the object inside of it እንደሚባለው dictionary የሚባል ነገር አለ። ወይ ከአናሎጂያሱ ከምን ጋር ነው ከኦብጀክት ኪ ፔር ቱ ቫልዩ ጋር አፒር ዴም ነው ማለት ነው። አሁን ጃቫስክሪፕት ላይ ኦብጀክት ስትል ኪ ፌክት ቫልዩ አለን ኢንዚስ ኬዝ እንደ